The latest Browns game has left the entire fan base stunned. A shocking decision in the final moments, growing tension on the sidelines, and unexpected moves behind the scenes have all collided to create a storm of controversy. With the season spiraling and questions mounting, what happened on and off the field this week could change everything for the future of the franchise. And I'll tell you everything firsthand, but first, make sure to click the like button, and if you agree that Stefanski has to leave, write it in the comments. I want to know your opinion. The Cleveland Browns found themselves in the center of national attention for all the wrong reasons after a stunningly painful Week 14 loss to the Tennessee Titans. One that spiraled into controversy not just for what happened on the field, but for who was on the sidelines watching. Let's start with the most mind-boggling moment, a two-point conversion decision that has fans, analysts, and even fellow players completely dumbfounded. Trailing by 2 with just over a minute left after an impressive comeback led by rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders, the Browns had a golden chance to tie the game and possibly force overtime. Sanders had just completed a brilliant back-pylon touchdown throw to tight end Harold Fannin Jr., putting Cleveland in prime position to seize the moment. But instead of keeping the hot-handed rookie on the field, head coach Kevin Stefanski turned to a wildcat formation featuring running back Quentin Judkins. What followed was a disastrous trick play that ended in a back-breaking interception, snuffing out Cleveland's hopes in the most frustrating way possible. The backlash was immediate. On Fox NFL Sunday, guest analyst Jameis Winston voiced what every Browns fan was thinking in real time. Watched and played a lot of football, and that's just not right. No way, Winston posted on X, formerly Twitter, shortly after the play. That post exploded online as the Browns faithful and even other NFL players and pundits ripped Stefanski's decision-making. What adds to the sting is that this wasn't the only questionable two-point attempt. Earlier in the fourth quarter, when the Browns were trailing by 8, Stefanski again opted to go for 2 instead of simply kicking the extra point. Had he chosen the PAT, the second touchdown could have put Cleveland in position to tie the game with a kick. Instead, both two-point attempts failed, and the Browns were left with nothing but regret. Stefanski defended the choices by pointing to predetermined calls developed throughout the week, but the failure to adjust in real time and ride Sanders' momentum has left fans wondering what the coach's actual role is during crunch time. All of this unfolded under the watchful eyes of a very notable guest in the building, Colorado Buffalo's head coach Deion Sanders. Coach Prime was at the stadium to support his son, Shedeur, but it was his pregame conversation with Browns owner Jimmy Haslam that stirred a hornet's nest. "We're glad to have you," Haslam said to Sanders in a video posted by ESPN Cleveland. "Let's have 12 play well today." That brief clip set off a wave of speculation. Is Haslam the reason Shedeur was drafted? Is there more to Deion's presence than fatherly support? Remember, Shedeur Sanders wasn't even the first quarterback Cleveland drafted this year. That was Dillon Gabriel, taken in the 3rd round. Sanders came in the 5th, behind not just Gabriel but behind veterans Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett on the depth chart. His first real opportunity came only after Gabriel suffered a concussion. Since then, Sanders has taken the reins, and Stefanski confirmed he will remain the starter for the rest of the season, a move many feel was long overdue. This quarterback drama has also rekindled an older rumor that Haslam himself pushed for the selection of Shedeur Sanders, bypassing the coaching staff's preference. Haslam has denied this, but his visible connection to Deion Sanders continues to fuel speculation. And now, with the Browns stumbling through a 3-10 season and Stefanski on increasingly shaky ground, a new theory has emerged. Could Deion Sanders be eyeing the head coaching job in Cleveland? It sounds far-fetched on paper. Sanders just signed an extension with Colorado last offseason, and he's actively developing his next quarterback, Julian Lewis. But with the Buffaloes finishing 3-9 and Deion spending more time around the Browns late in the NFL season, people are starting to connect the dots. After all, this was the first season Deion hasn't coached Shedeur, and the idea of reuniting on the pro stage is tempting, especially if Stefanski can't steer the ship in the final weeks. Still, jumping to conclusions could be premature. Sanders may simply be playing the role of proud father, showing support during a crucial point in his son's budding career. But the timing and visibility of his presence, paired with Cleveland's turmoil and Stefanski's increasingly unpopular decisions, has created a perfect storm of rumors and tension around the franchise. The uncertainty at quarterback is only matched by the inconsistency on defense, which, for the first time this season, looked completely lost. Facing a Titans offense that had been largely ineffective all year, the Browns defense put together their worst performance yet. Cam Ward, not exactly known for lighting up scoreboards, tossed 2 touchdowns, a career high, against a Browns unit that looked uncharacteristically soft against the run. Tony Pollard found massive lanes with ease, and Cleveland's front seven was gashed repeatedly. Even Myles Garrett, the Browns' defensive cornerstone, couldn't do much to shift the momentum. Though he recorded a sack and a couple tackles for loss, the Titans seemed ready for Cleveland's pass rush schemes, using wide alignments against Garrett to neutralize his impact. Shelby Harris struggled up the middle in the absence of Malik Collins, grading poorly per Pro Football Focus, and Mike Hall posted the worst run defense grade on the team. Carson Schweissinger and Devin Bush stood out statistically, especially Bush, whose interception helped set up a Browns score and earned him the team's highest defensive grade at 90.3. But it wasn't nearly enough to cover the broader collapse. With Cleveland now sitting at 3-10, the fan base is as divided and uncertain as ever. Stefanski's job security is the biggest question looming over the final stretch of the season. The quarterback situation, once again, is a soap opera, and Deion Sanders' presence, even if innocent, is pouring gasoline on an already volatile fire. What do you think, Browns fans? Was Stefanski's play calling the final straw? Should Shedeur Sanders have been trusted with the two-point attempt? And what do you make of Deion Sanders being in the building, talking to ownership? There's no question that the decisions made in that Titans game will define the tone for the rest of the season. Kevin Stefanski's approach, from sticking to predetermined two-point conversion plays to bypassing the hottest player on the field in Shedeur Sanders, left a sour taste in the mouths of fans and players alike. It wasn't just about strategy, it was about the gut, the feel for the moment. And Stefanski seemed to abandon that feel when it mattered most. This coaching philosophy has now come under intense scrutiny. Stefanski's explanation, that plays are planned out during the week and they just go with what feels best in real time, sounds hollow when that real-time decision means taking the ball out of your quarterback's hands when he's just gone back-to-back on scoring drives in the fourth quarter. Sanders had built the momentum. The crowd felt it. The sideline felt it. Everyone watching felt it. Everyone but Stefanski, apparently. That's the kind of decision that sticks, not just for a week, but for an entire offseason if the Browns don't find a way to rebound. And then there's the defense, a unit that had carried the team for much of the year, suddenly unraveling against one of the league's weakest offenses. It was the kind of performance that makes you wonder if the locker room is still locked in, or if they're starting to look toward 2026. Myles Garrett, the team's clear leader, still fought through double teams and managed some disruption, but even he seemed a step slower. The Titans' ground game didn't need complex schemes or explosive trickery, just fundamental runs that exposed the Browns' defensive line missing its interior anchor. Malik Collins being out-hurt more than expected, with Shelby Harris and Mike Hall struggling to control the line of scrimmage. Mike Hall, in particular, raised red flags with a PFF grade under 40 and the worst run defense performance on the team. That's not a one-game fluke, it's becoming a trend. And for a young player expected to be part of the long-term plan, it's a major concern. Meanwhile, the linebackers tried to hold things together. Devin Bush's interception was a highlight, and he deserved every bit of his 90.3 grade, the best on the defense. Carson Schweissinger continues to be a tackling machine and played with intensity. But when your safeties, Grant Delpit and Ronnie Hickman, are whiffing tackles and out of position on run fits, even solid linebacker play can't bail the team out. Injuries added insult to injury. Denzel Ward left the game early, and even before that, his tackling and run support were subpar. The secondary as a whole wasn't awful, but they were far from sharp. Tyson Campbell held his own and posted a solid grade of 73.3, but it wasn't enough to prevent the Titans from taking what they wanted when they wanted it. There's no hiding from it now. Cleveland is 3-10. The team is spiraling. And looming above it all is the presence of Deion Sanders, not just as a supportive father, but as a potential future presence in the organization. The rumors aren't new, but they found fresh fuel. Some believe his involvement in Shedeur's draft process was more than just advisory. Some believe his sideline appearance and talk with Jimmy Haslam are signals of bigger plans. And some fear that Stefanski's time in Cleveland is nearing its end, especially if the locker room stops responding and the team fails to show fight in the final stretch. But let's not overlook the man at the center of it all, Shedeur Sanders. He wasn't just good in this game, he was fearless. The moment wasn't too big for him. He looked comfortable, confident, and like a player ready to lead an NFL offense. From tight window throws to smart reads under pressure, Sanders gave this team life when it looked dead. And the decision to pull him for a gadget play in that critical moment? It's hard to view that as anything other than sabotage, intentional or not. Fans see it. Players see it. And clearly, Former and current players like Jameis Winston see it too. Now the Browns must make a decision, not just about Stefanski, but about what kind of team they want to be. Do they ride out the final weeks with pride and let their rookie quarterback continue to grow? Or do they collapse under the weight of internal drama and external pressure? And what about Deion? Is his presence truly that of a father, or is he quietly positioning himself for something more? Colorado might expect him to return, but college football contracts haven't stopped NFL moves before. With Shedeur already in Cleveland and the Browns' future very much in flux, it's no longer outrageous to imagine Deion Sanders on the Browns sideline, not just in the stands. But what would that mean for the franchise? Could he command the respect of an NFL locker room? Could he lead Shedeur as both a coach and a father at the highest level? And would Haslam truly make such a bold move? One thing's for sure, if Stefanski doesn't win back this team fast, the questions will only grow louder. There are 4 games left, and they may determine not just who's under center in 2026, but who's standing on the sideline calling the plays. Let us know what you think down in the comments. Should Kevin Stefanski still be the Browns head coach after this season? Was pulling Shedeur Sanders at the end a fireable offense? Could Deion Sanders be a real option in Cleveland? If you want to stay on top of every twist and turn, every rumor and breaking news moment, be sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and click on the next video on your screen right now. The biggest Browns stories? You'll find them here first. Go Browns!